Okay, so Chris Hughes, I've got 5 quick questions for you. Certified facilitator in Australia. Number 1, how did you find access consciousness?
Well, actually, at the time I was living in Seoul, Korea on my Gypsy of Consciousness phase of life, and a friend of mine told me about a facilitator from Australia who was coming to Seoul, Korea to teach a class, and I had no interest at all in doing it whatsoever, but I had the biggest lounge room, and I said, sure, you can do it in my lounge. And this lady came called Beverly Brown, and she started reading these crazy things from this book, and I couldn't even see them with my eyes. There was these parts of the manual that were underlined, and I was like, lady, I don't know what it is you're reading, but I'm getting nauseous. And I was having like cold sweats and things. I had to put a blanket around me. It was just palpable. And so I guess I found access consciousness by saying yes, they could have a class in my living room.
So, what made you decide to become a certified facilitator?
Once I got that first taste, like I say, it was weird because I had no interest in it whatsoever. I probably even had judgments of it. Like I was like, why do all these people start talking in this weird way? And like anything I've heard about it is like grammatically incorrect and it's a little strange and it's like, But as soon as I actually took a class, I was like, bingo. This is the closest thing I've ever found to what I know is true. And I know is how the universe actually is and actually supports us to create whatever it is we want to create. I was always, like when I was a kid, my mom would always say, you've got a golden horseshoe up your butt. Because I was lucky.
Did you go searching for it?
Well, I looked. I couldn't find it. I thought, what's the melt value?
Right.
Like, there's gotta be something I can monetize out of this. But it was, once I had that first taste, and as I say, I knew it was like, this is what I know is correct and true. I looked for the next class immediately. I looked on the website, which is like still the same website we have today, 11 years later. And the next class was in Brisbane, Australia. And I booked my very first trip to Brisbane, Australia, which is now where I live. And I'm married to a guy from Brisbane, Australia. And it's like, my whole life really changed from that first step and that first choice. And from that, I went, okay, I want to do this. I want to do what this lady's doing. She's traveling around, having a great time, spreading these tools and making people's lives better, and seemingly having a great time out of it.
So number 3, what is your go-to tool?
Probably the one that gosh.
I know there's so many.
There's so many. You know, each instance is something better. But probably, to me, the most dynamic, easiest one to get you out of a spot in a heartbeat is, who does this belong to? Which, I mean, to me, the way consciousness works, you know, it's almost a bit like Wi-Fi. It's a really weird analogy, right? But if I'm an infinite being and you're an infinite being, how much do we overlap? There's all of this communication going on of overlapping that is so beyond our ordinary perception of the way the world works or how much we are connected. So recognizing that we are way more connected than anybody gives us credit for totally changes things in a heartbeat for me. Who does this belong to? It's got to be my number one go-to tool to create change in an instant if you're in a funk or in a weird spot.
Cool. And then there's also an app that goes with that. Who does it belong to? You can get it on the App Store. Dr. Dane here created it, so go find it. Who does it belong to? Okay, number 4. What would you like to see change in the world?
For me, I would like to see people live beautifully, however that is for them. I would like there to be more elegance and more intimacy between people. I would like to see them honor themselves and each other with the choices that they make, be it the glass that they choose to drink from, or the car that they allow themselves to have, or the income that they allow themselves to receive. That's what I would like to see in the world.
Okay, number 5. What is the greatest change you've had or witnessed in a client using the Access Consciousness tools and techniques?
For me, I would have to say it's my financial situation. I have to give a great plug to your book, actually, your most recent one, because I'm not just blowing smoke. Getting Out of Debt Joyfully is a fabulous book. Look, 5 years ago, which isn't that long, I remember an instance of having 50 cents in my pocket and not sure if I had enough petrol to get home. And I'm in a position now with my finances where, wow, I can't even describe the difference, the choices that I'm making, the trips that I'm allowed, that I can create for myself, going to stay in castles and fly business class everywhere, and the treasure that comes into my life all the time. And it's not from being a facilitator and getting people to pay me for doing classes. It's from the choices that I've made and using the other amazing tool that I was like torn from when you asked me, the 10% account, and actually putting aside money honoring you. So in my own life, I would have to say that is one of the greatest changes I've seen in anybody.
Thank you, Mr. Christopher. And where can people find you?
They can find me at the Antique Guild in Brisbane, Australia. Most days I'm there if I'm not traveling around finding treasure. But also I have a website called theeleganceofliving.com. So here's one of those what's right about this we're not getting moments. We've had a few technical difficulties, with that video that Simone was shooting, asking me questions. And the last question that she asked me was, where can people find me? And you can find me here at the Antique Guild, this beautiful shop in Brisbane, Australia, or on my website. I have a website, theeleganceofliving.com, and you'll find all sorts of information on there. Aside from my contact details, there's some free tasters that have been posted and some telecalls I've done in the past that you can order. And also, we have a new telecall series coming up, the Elegance of Living Master Series, of which there's no prerequisites for. Anyone can join. And we will be having on March 3rd, coming right up, a free taster. So feel free to sign up and find me there. Thanks.